A young mother of 5 is gunned down in broad daylight.
She was shot 14 times.
You can literally see the dirt kicking up from the bullets going through her body.
And it doesn't seem like an isolated incident.
There was a capital murder there the day before.
There was the same MO in both of these shootings.
As witnesses emerge, a picture of the shooter comes into focus.
She made eye contact with their killer.
He looked up at me, it's like, I'll kill you too.
But the secrets behind her murder won't stay buried.
He always used to sneak and hit her.
I didn't believe it when they told me.
He was just cold-hearted.
How long will he run before the truth catches up?
Police knew just how dangerous this person was.
Carefully view all the photographs.
You want to get him apprehended as quickly as possible.
There's only one that might be close to it.
They have the witnesses that are able to identify him.
Now the problem is, how do we find him?
September 23rd, 2021. It's Thursday morning in Houston, Texas, the nation's 4th largest city.
There are about 5 million people in the greater Houston area, and you can drive 2 hours and still be in Harris County.
It's the largest county population-wise in Texas. It's probably about the size of the whole entire state of New Jersey.
And just before noon this morning, calls from an apartment complex on the northern edge of the city start flooding into Harris County 911.
Yes, man, we need police over here. I hear multiple gunshots. Dude just shot the girl. There's a lady on the ground, face down. I think she's dead. He shot her like 6 times.
When first responders arrive on the scene, they find the victim, 27-year-old 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 Sanford, face down on the ground.
My baby was laying on the ground, fighting for her life.
This is in the middle of the day with dozens of people around.
What happened?
𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 Sanford had always been a fierce protector of the people she loved.
She was the one who's not afraid to speak up. Like, when something was wrong, she'll let people know. She defended us.
Everybody looked up to her.
She was a loving, caring person. She made sure everybody around her was good.
And there was nobody 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 loved more than her children.
When she became a mother, she was proud.
She had 5 kids, beautiful kids, a son, 4 girls.
She was a loving, caring parent. Her kids was everything to her.
Her kids never went without. They loved her. That was their best friend.
Originally from Baton Rouge, 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋's family moved to Houston when she was 11 years old.
Houston offered more.
She like, Mom, I'm not coming back to Louisiana.
And it was there that 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 truly blossomed.
She was very known. Everybody loved her, you know, and she was very popular.
She was the life of party. She loved to get dressed, loved new clothes, shoes. Anytime a new shoe come out, she had to get it.
She was a beautiful person. I see that smile and that gap teeth. That's my baby. She make her own beat, her own tune. She was just her.
Finding someone to share her vibrant life with had proved challenging, though not for lack of trying.
She had 5 kids, and all her baby daddies, they involved in their kids' life.
But her luck seemed to change when she met Cameron Davis.
Hey.
What you got going on, girl?
She met him online.
We just seemed like cool.
The relationship quickly took off.
They just spoke on the phone all day, every day, fell asleep on the phone, just FaceTiming and texting, like 2 teenagers.
Cameron and 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 bonded over their similar roots in Louisiana.
𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 was from Baton Rouge. He's from New Orleans.
There's an interesting relationship between Louisiana and Houston. All of Texas, but mainly Houston. You will find so many people who are Louisiana transplants or who have family from Louisiana.
Cameron moved to the Houston area following Katrina.
I'm just thinking about home. You know, sometimes I miss it, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
I could just imagine that when she met someone else who was from similar upbringing, there was that immediate connection.
You look like you've been tired a little bit today.
Yeah, I guess I should be getting some sleep.
Yeah, you can give me 5 more minutes.
Despite the sparks flying between them, the relationship still had its share of complications.
For one thing, Cameron had been in and out of trouble with the law.
He already had this violent history, and he had been convicted on an aggravated robbery.
But at the end of the day, his sordid past didn't affect the love 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 felt.
There's always been this long-standing idea about the bad boy and being intrigued by that, especially when you're in your 20s and you want to feel like passion.
She said she grown. I told her, you're right, you is grown. You know, she young, she in love, that's her man.
This was the love of her life.
But now first responders have found 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 gunned down in the parking lot of a Houston apartment complex.
Investigators realized, oh wow, this is a very violent shooting.
She was shot 14 times. But tragically, it was just too late.
~27-year-old 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 Sanford had built a beautiful life for her family in Houston, Texas.
She had 5 beautiful kids, a son, and 4 girls.
When it came down to her kids, she was very devoted.
And she'd fallen in love with a man named Cameron Davis.
They were always together. When they weren't together, they were on the phone. They were just head over heels.
But now, 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋's life has come to a sudden, violent end.
After reports of a shooting at a suburban Houston apartment complex, sheriff deputies found her dead from multiple gunshot wounds.
She was shot 14 times.
7 9mm shell casings are on the ground just above her head, and nearby, officers locate 11 more.
This was a very violent way to kill someone.
It was pretty clear that whoever did this was standing over her and had fired several shots into her while she was on the ground.
As detectives arrive, they're just as shocked by the brutality.
The shooting itself was a level of violence that you're not accustomed to dealing with, whether it be a district attorney or a homicide investigator.
They call this overkill because it's like, you know, this person is gone, but for some reason you feel like you have to harm their body even more.
Even more suspicious, this isn't the first shooting at this location that week.
There was a capital murder there the day before as well, where the 2 people got shot.
Around 9:30 the previous morning, Harris County 911 had received another flurry of calls reporting gunshots at the same apartment complex.
When sheriff's deputies arrived, they found 27-year-old Isaiah McCoy on the ground next to his vehicle.
He died from multiple gunshot wounds.
And 30-year-old Reginald J.J. Jackson was dead in the street just outside the complex.
He'd been shot and run over by a vehicle.
Surveillance footage from the property showed a man approach the 2 victims while they were in the parking lot.
The man then shoots McCoy multiple times.
It was a close-range shooting.
But Jackson took off running.
There was somewhat of a chase.
As Jackson reached the street, the shooter caught up with him.
He'd gunned Jackson down before returning to the apartment complex and disappearing from the camera's view.
Moments later, an SUV sped out of the complex, struck Jackson where he lay on the street, and then drove off.
There was somewhat of the same MO in the pattern of violence that happened in both of these shootings.
It's not common to hear about a deadly double shooting at an apartment complex, and then the very next day, you hear about another deadly shooting.
What if she had some sort of connection to McCoy and Jackson? Or maybe she was a witness that could identify their shooter.
Before investigators can check the surveillance footage to see if they can ID 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋's killer, they speak with a woman who claims to have seen the whole ordeal.
I was out there drinking my coffee and stuff, and I noticed them kind of getting into a dispute.
One of the people she describes was 𝐅𝐔𝐋. The other was a clean-cut black male.
The man was wearing a white t-shirt, light pants, and black slides with socks. And he was holding a gun.
The witness claims that she overheard the man trying to convince 𝐅𝐔𝐋 to get back into the car.
Here, come on! Come on, get in the car! He had like her flip-flops, and he tossed them back to her, and she was scared to even pick those up.
The witness said the woman was terrified. It was as if she did not want to take her eyes off of him to get the shoes.
But then, the gunman noticed her watching.
He looked up at me, and I was like, don't. And he's just kind of like, I'll kill you too.
To make eye contact with that killer was very scary. Even scarier now that the person knows where they live at.
She was terrified of retaliation and retribution at a future date.
That's when the witness says she started gathering up her things to go back inside.
She said she figured it wasn't any of her business.
But before she could get inside, the man took action.
All of a sudden, she's running, and he's shooting at me.
She sees this man shoot this woman several times, and I just can't imagine the fear she must have felt.
The witness describes the weapon as a small 9mm with an extended magazine.
This explains how the shooter was able to fire so many rounds at 𝐅𝐔𝐋.
After the shooting, the man abandoned the car and took off on foot.
He allegedly ran between the buildings towards a nearby gas station.
With no time to waste, police follow his route.
Officers are able to find another eyewitness.
A gas station employee believes they saw the shooter.
He matches his physical description. He's on the run.
This guy needed to be apprehended as soon as possible.
𝐅𝐔𝐋 Sanford. It seems Houston police are hot on the shooter's trail.
There is a witness who saw the gunman flee on foot in the direction of the gas station. So investigators followed his path.
An employee at the gas station told officers that a man with a gun had run across their parking lot.
The surrounding areas want to know what's happening in their community. Is this something that they should be concerned for their safety?
Luckily, the employee saw where the man went next.
This witness last saw him running, going to nearby apartments.
Police locate that individual and bring him in custody.
However, as they talk to the man, they quickly realize it's just a dead end.
He was clear that he was not the assailant in this case.
But as law enforcement continues to canvass the area, they do locate what appears to be the murder weapon.
Officers are able to find surveillance behind a nearby corner store.
The camera was able to capture the suspect taking the magazine out of the gun and disposing of them separately.
Officers were able to go out and recover them, and so now we have the murder weapon.
Meanwhile, the investigation at the crime scene is ongoing.
The car that the eyewitness saw the shooter and Rainisha get out of is still in the parking lot.
The car has out-of-state plates.
Inside was a fast food bag, some cups, and a cell phone.
Leaving the car for the CSI team, detectives make their way to the apartment's main office.
They want to know what, if anything, had been captured on the complex's security cameras.
The apartment complex had installed surveillance cameras where they can pretty much see everything that's going on in the property.
Having a video itself is unique, you know? I mean, thank God for the video, right? Because you've got this sort of credibility.
Not only does a review of the footage confirm much of what the witness told them, it also reveals new details.
There's no doubt in what you're going to see on video versus what an eyewitness can maybe sometimes forget to report, or they didn't see the full situation.
On the surveillance video, you can see her get out of the car and then him get out as well.
Then he had started pulling the gun out, and she went running and howling for help.
You see Miss Sanford run around that apartment complex for the better part of 20 minutes.
And you see where he shoots her again and again and got closer so he could be over her. He shot her like 5 times in the head.
The shooting itself takes place really far away, but is really horrific.
The building's maintenance man tells detectives that he's seen the gunman and the victim around the complex before.
In fact, he said the gunman was around the day before when the double murder occurred, hanging around Building 20.
But does that mean that Rainisha's murder had something to do with the deaths of McCoy and Jackson?
We have 2 men who are shot and killed, very similar to how Rainisha was executed when she was murdered. Is this drugs? Is this gang? Are they connected?
He also tells detectives of a strange encounter between a carpet cleaning crew and the victim earlier that day.
They told him something happened, but he didn't have many details. So he gave them the company's information, and the detectives give them a call.
And the story the workman tells is shocking.
He said they were working on an apartment, and they say Rainisha ran in and hid behind the door.
And the reason for her fear quickly became apparent.
The next thing they know, a man came in with a gun.
And he points the gun at them as well.
He says they fled into one of the back rooms.
They were in fear for their life and also unsure of how to protect Rainisha in the moment.
If you're a third party and you see something like this, it's best not to intervene yourself.
From the back room, they said they could hear the man with the gun yelling at the woman.
He demanded, Rainisha to leave the apartment.
This went on a couple of minutes before they both left.
But ultimately, they hear those gunshots moments after.
As detectives wrap up at the scene, they're approached by a woman.
Excuse me? Detectives?
Hey, ma'am, you're not allowed to be over here.
No, I'm family. I need to talk to you.
She tells detectives that Rainisha had been in an on-off relationship that had become abusive.
I don't know, she would just call him King.
Detectives investigating the shooting that killed Rainisha Sanford have learned from a family member that the 27-year-old was in an abusive relationship.
She didn't know his real name, only that he goes by King.
King? She never talked about her relationship problems much. She got it all figured out, especially when it came down to a man.
No, all I know is it's not good.
Okay. All right, man. Well, thank you so much, okay? We'll take it from here.
To learn more about Rainisha's relationships, detectives reach out to Rainisha's mother, Ashley.
Rainisha and her mom were very close. She was obviously devastated.
I'm her protector. I'm supposed to be there to save her, take care of her. It hurt. It hurts, man.
But through her grief, detectives get a name for King: Cameron Davis.
Apparently, the two of them had a very tumultuous relationship.
He always used to sneak and hit her. Like, I'm just going on what she used to tell, was jealousy of her.
And it seemed the violence had only escalated.
He beat her up so bad where she couldn't go out. She was telling me, Mama, I'm tired. She knew she was about to die.
She tried to convince Rainisha to leave Cameron.
I know what I've been through when I was young with domestic violence. So I know how to spot it. And I told her, take heed.
But on a visit to Houston to see Rainisha and the kids, Ashley claims that she experienced Cameron's violence firsthand.
I had brought my grandson a cell phone.
What is this?
I just want to surprise little man when they got in.
Oh, I see what's going on. You don't think I can afford to get in one myself, huh?
What? No, I just...
He broke the cell phone.
You're gonna have to pay me for that.
I knew he was a bad person, and that's what made me leave Houston.
Despite her mother's best efforts, Rainisha chose to stay with Cameron.
After that, I looked him up. I know he was a menace to society.
She found out that he had some warrants and was hoping they'd lock him up.
I feel like if I would have stayed, I could have prevented it from happening.
The rest of Rainisha's family is equally devastated to learn of her death.
My sister called me. I said, well, Ashley, what's wrong? She said, my baby dead. And I went inside my bathroom on the side of the bathtub. I'll never forget.
Everybody deals with death, but this type of death, it is painful. And then she had kids, she had little kids. It was just like unbelievable.
After talking to Rainisha's mother, detectives run a search on Cameron's name.
In his background, he had a lot of violent crimes.
In fact, his criminal history dates back more than a decade.
Cameron Davis had previously been to prison for aggravated robbery.
But what seems especially relevant to detectives is the fact that Rainisha had previously filed assault charges against Cameron.
In 2021, Cameron Davis was charged with 2 separate domestic violence cases, both involving Miss Sanford.
The first case happened in January.
The arrest happens in front of the hotel staff, and he tells the hotel staff, if you call the police, I'm gonna kill you, right? So that's a serious allegation in and of itself.
He was arrested, but he wasn't in jail long.
Everybody being legally entitled to a bond, he posted a bond, and he stopped appearing for that case.
Although Rainisha had managed to take out a protective order against Cameron.
But that didn't stop him from assaulting her again, only a few months later.
There's another case where Rainisha had waved down to the police officers who saw her mouth and they see her busted lip, and she tells the police, Cameron did this to me, but he's gone off the scene.
So as you can see, it just continues to escalate.
A warrant was issued for Cameron's arrest.
And that case ultimately is still an open warrant when this murder tragically occurs.
When you see that someone has a criminal record of harming the victim, that makes them suspect number one and makes it clear to them where the investigation is heading.
Armed with Cameron's mugshot from his police file, detectives arranged to meet with the woman who witnessed the shooting.
They put together a photo spread and showed the witness to see if they can identify him as the subject.
Carefully view all the photographs. You are not obligated to identify anyone.
Detectives are in luck.
There's only one that might be close to it.
She was able to identify that that was, in fact, him, Cameron.
An eyewitness to the murder of 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 Sanford has identified her boyfriend, Cameron Davis, as the man who shot her multiple times in a Houston apartment complex.
Her family had also informed detectives that Cameron was violent and abusive.
He was just cold-hearted. She did put restraining order on him. She got fed up with it.
Everything is in black and white within Cameron's police record.
When you see that someone has a history, a criminal record of violence or threats or harming the victim, that makes them suspect number one.
For Cameron Davis, he had 2 prior cases filed on him for this same type of behavior that we actually see escalating as well.
So detectives secure a warrant for his arrest.
They try to pick him up, but Cameron is not at any of his addresses. So the sheriff's office issues a bolo for him.
While officers work to track down Cameron, detectives follow another lead, thanks to the car he'd abandoned at the crime scene.
Police discover that the vehicle was a rental car.
Only the person who rented it wasn't 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 or Cameron.
Yes, I'm calling about a blue sedan you rented.
It was a name detectives hadn't heard yet. But when they speak with her, she says she's a friend of 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋's.
So I rented that car at first for my boyfriend, but he got arrested, so I let her use it.
That car was given to her for her use leading up to the shooting.
The friend also tells detectives that she spent a lot of time with 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 recently.
She knew the history of the cycle of violence in their domestic relationship that they had been in.
Domestic violence happens primarily behind closed doors. A lot of the times it's not seen by your loved ones, but her friend is able to identify that cycle of power and control that she was trapped in.
She knew more about what 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 was dealing with than we did because she was actually right there. She witnessed it more than us.
And less than 2 weeks before the murder, she says 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 called her and asked for a ride to the emergency room.
She told me King had shot her.
She doesn't know exactly what happened, only that she'd shown up at 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋's place and found her with a bloody towel wrapped around her right arm.
He shot her somewhere around the elbow.
𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 was even less forthcoming with the doctors.
She didn't want to report that at the hospital.
The emergency room told her they would have to make a police report due to a gunshot wound. That was her moment to be able to share that X, Y, and Z is happening to me behind the scenes, but she couldn't, which tells me she was in fear of her life.
Her friend also confirms that 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋 was with Cameron on Thursday morning.
She was able to tell them that moments before the shooting, she was on the phone with 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋.
Hey, girl. I didn't know King was in the car with her.
Thinking that she's just chatting with her friend, she mentions another man.
Then she heard Cameron in the background.
Who is Mello?
Cameron even grabbed the phone.
What's going on? Now you better come and get your girl. I can't.
Then he hung up.
About 20 minutes later, 911 calls start coming in to report a shooting.
When detectives follow up on the friend's statement, They do find a police report regarding the previous shooting incident.
She left the emergency room department before they got the name, but the report was still filed.
Then 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋's autopsy report comes in, also confirming the injury.
The report refers to a healing defect on her right arm.
It also lays bare the sheer brutality of her murder.
It's not just that he shot her once in the back. He shot her again and again and again.
One of those bullets transected her spinal cord. She was not able to brace herself as her body fell against the pavement.
I think his only mission was to make sure that she stayed unalive.
However, the detectives are still no closer to finding Cameron.
Houston is so large, and there's so many violent crimes. The police only have a certain amount of resources, do surveillance and all the things necessary to track down an individual. So the community is going to be on edge because you got your families living in these places. You got your kids that you want to be able to play outside. They can't play outside because police are trying to find the suspect that just possibly killed this person.
Weeks turn into months with no sign of the fugitive.
When you have someone who's a violent offender like Cameron Davis, you want to get him apprehended as quickly as possible.
Now the problem is, how do we find him?
When it first happened, I was terrified. Before I walk out the door, I'll look around to make sure I didn't see anything, because I'm like, okay, he know me and 𝐅𝐔𝐋 was probably the closest. We talked every day. So when they said they didn't find him, he was still on the loose, I was like, okay, I know he know who I am. He probably try to come get me next. I was just thinking all type of crazy stuff. I didn't know what to expect.
Arm & Hammer hardball litter.
More than a year after 𝐅𝐔𝐋 Sanford's brutal murder, Houston police are still searching for their prime suspect, her boyfriend, Cameron Davis.
He's the abusive boyfriend who has 2 or 3 open warrants for assaulting her already.
There's also a witness who identifies Cameron as the man who shot 𝐅𝐔𝐋 more than a dozen times.
Cameron was the main suspect, but now the problem is, how do we find him?
For the better part of 15 months, he's on the run from these charges.
During that time, though, investigators arrest the shooter in the unrelated murders of Reginald Jackson and Isaiah McCoy.
For 𝐅𝐔𝐋's family, the wait for justice feels never-ending.
It's very hard for a family to continue to live a normal life, not only after losing a loved one, but knowing that the suspect that committed the crime is out there running around free.
It affected my mama because it's just, he could be anywhere. Why is he free living his life? Why don't nobody care? I just kept wishing somebody would kill him the way he killed my sister.
But then in December of 2022, Houston Crime Stoppers gets a call.
Crime Stoppers is a very, very valuable program that the police started some years ago. They offer reward money for tips leading to arrest.
His roots go back to Louisiana. So Cameron supposedly was going back and forth between Louisiana and Houston.
They was on it right there to them, like a breakthrough cam.
Following the tip, detectives are finally able to place Cameron under arrest.
I can only imagine that for everyone involved, once they heard that he was arrested, the relief that they must have felt.
There was victory.
But while Cameron's arrest offers the family a shot at closure, he doesn't give them any satisfaction.
Usually, you're looking for a reason why. Why did you do this? A statement of some sort. But Cameron refused to talk.
Defendants are not required to give a statement to the police. It's their Fifth Amendment right to not do so. So when someone is arrested but doesn't give a statement, it gives them flexibility as far as the evidence at trial to craft their defense to whatever they think the evidence will show.
In custody, he remains silent. But that's hardly a setback for the prosecution.
Each one of these pieces of evidence means a lot. When you have the gun, when you have the ballistic report, when they connect the blood to the subject, along with videotape and eyewitnesses, that's just a great line of evidence to have to show a jury.
But while the evidence in this case was strong, you can never take a verdict for granted, because you never know what a jury will do.
When the case goes to trial in April of 2024, the prosecutors paint Cameron as a man consumed by rage.
We don't know exactly why Cameron Davis did what he did. However, with these domestic violence situations, whenever the victim is trying to leave, that is usually when the assailant has this mind frame of, if I can't have you, no one else can.
Investigators believe the initial trigger was Rainisha's phone call with her friend.
Hey, girl. I ordered a mellow for you. Oh, for real?
Who is Mello?
When you let me finish, you see it was nobody.
He only got angrier, and Rainisha ran from the car to escape him.
But Cameron refused to let it go.
Hey, you better come and get your gun. Get back here!
Instead of letting things cool off, he chased her through the apartment complex.
And that's what sets off this sort of tortuous 20 minutes where she's running for her life. We're able to see on surveillance Miss Sanford running around that apartment complex in what we can only really imagine is abject terror.
He hunted her down.
He ultimately cornered her in the apartment where the carpet cleaners were working.
On the way back to the car, her nightmare continued.
Come on! Come on! Cameron! Come on! Cameron, no, please! Come get in the car! Get in the car! What am I supposed to do with all these cameras out here?
He threw her shoes at her, and she's so scared that she actually hesitated to even get closer to get them.
Shut up! I'll kill you too! Oh my God, Cameron! Oh my God, make me please! Come on! Cameron, please! Oh my God!
That will always stick with me, just knowing that in those moments right before her death, she was literally begging for her life.
When he saw her lifeless body fall to the ground, he still extended more rounds into her body.
The defense tries to claim that the investigators got the wrong man.
When the defense says that's not Cameron Davis on the video, we were able to loop in all of the prior instances of violence, the fact that they were in this relationship that was so toxic and on again, off again, the fact that her friend is able to identify Cameron's voice, as well as those witnesses who were there in the courtyard.
Considering the amount of evidence against him, the prosecutors have no trouble convincing the jury that Cameron murdered Rainisha.
In this case, the jury ultimately returned a verdict of guilty.
He now is serving a life sentence with eligibility for parole after 30 years.
While the verdict of life itself is what I believe to be justice, just based on the level of violence that Cameron Davis demonstrated, I know that that verdict will never bring Miss Sanford back.
It's equally bittersweet for Rainisha's family.
They say justice was served, but to me, justice would never be served.
He shouldn't see the lights, but they know.
Like I said, I wanted him to die. I just felt like jail's way too easy.
I want you to suffer like how we do. We got to go every day. I want you to do the same thing. Suffer. That's it.
But there's no sentence, no matter how harsh, that will make up for how much Rainisha's family and her children miss her.
I'm gonna be honest, I would never be okay. She is missed so much.
She was my best friend. That's who made me who I am today. And I'm trying to stay strong. The kids I see every day, I watch them grow every day. I can't give them what their mama can give them. And that's mama love.
A young woman disappears under disturbing circumstances.
She said, God forbid anything happened to me. I love y'all. When I tried to contact her, I couldn't get through.
We knew something wasn't right.
At first, her family's calls for help aren't taken seriously.
They looked at us like we were crazy.
We just took matters in our own hands.
The family was out there doing their investigation.
But a surprising witness will change the course of the investigation.
You can start telling me the truth about everything.
He gave us a lot of information regarding that night and what transpired.
He may not ever be able to get that image out of his mind.
Dealing with train tracks and dumping bodies.
I'm like, wow, wow.
Will justice ever be served?
He was on the run.
They were protecting him.
It felt like a movie, like it was not real.
You don't supposed to wish death on anybody, but this one time, this one time, I needed that to happen because he took somebody so special from us.
January 29th, 2021. It's a quiet Friday morning in Buffalo, New York, the state's second largest city, fondly known as the City of Good Neighbors.
Sometimes we get overshadowed by New York City, but with Buffalo, there's a lot of heart. It's not a small town, but it has a small town family feel. People tend to know each other, grew up together.
The reasons why it's called the City of Good Neighbors is because when a crisis hits, you will see your neighbors come to help you.
And one local family may soon find themselves in need of support.
It was about maybe 7, 8 in the morning.
Ronisha White received a video call from her sister, Tierra Lott. And when she saw her sister on the screen, it was obvious that something was wrong.
One side of her face was swollen.
Sierra, slow down. What's going on?
She just kept saying, like, I gotta get out, I gotta get out.
To 22-year-old Tierra Lott, family was everything.
It was really close. Talked on the phone every day. And mom first, but we joked and played, danced.
You couldn't see her, not see her sisters right behind her. Kids-wise, we was always together, sharing the same room. If I went outside, she had to come outside type of thing. I've had moments of her just busting in my room, jumping on me, like that was my person.
To everyone who knew her, Tierra was the life of the party.
She was crazy, but she was a good crazy, though, like outgoing, fun, like talkative. Tierra was always just silly, always cracking jokes on somebody.
She always made you laugh, made you happy.
But she also had a more sensitive side.
Tierra was a loving, caring person.
She was a sweetheart. She will give you a chance with her heart on her sleeve. She always showed up when I needed her. She will give you the shirt off her back.
Although Tierra left high school early, education always remained important to her.
She ended up going for her GED at Urban League.
Soon after, she began a career in home health care.
Once she started doing the home care, she fell in love with doing that. She was just a workaholic. You never seen her.
When she enrolled in college to become a medical assistant, it seemed like a perfect fit.
It definitely was up her alley.
She put a lot into her schooling, and she always reached for the sky. She always wanted better.
And when she wasn't working, she loved spending time with her boyfriend, Andre Wiggum.
She met her boyfriend, Andre, through a close mutual friend.
She was happy, and he made her happy.
But Tierra wasn't only finding success in love.
She was about to start a new job.
She was really excited.
She definitely did have so much going for her.
Only now, Tierra has called her sister, bruised and swollen.
Okay, well, what do you need from me? What can I do?
I don't know. My stuff is already packed.
Okay, well, what? Tierra.
She told me she had everything packed up, ready to go in the kitchen. She just gotta go.
But not long after, Ronisha received a worrying message.
She had sent a text message.
She said, like, God forbid anything happened to me. I love y'all.
Immediately, Ronisha texts her sister back.
I said, I love you too, but don't talk like that. But there wasn't no answer, no text back or anything like that.
She never responded.
What's happening?
22-year-old Tierra Lott was going strong with her 27-year-old boyfriend, Andre Wiggum.
He made her happy. She really loved him.
This was like her boot.
Tierra's professional life was also taking off.
She had just got that new job. She was excited.
But now, her sister Ronisha fears she could be in trouble.
When Tierra called Ronisha with a bruised face, she told her to leave from where she was. She said she was about to.
But not long after Ronisha hung up, she got an ominous message from her sister.
She had sent a text message stating that I love y'all and to tell everyone else that I love them too. When I tried to contact her, I couldn't get through.
And Tierra never texted back.
With rising concern, Ronisha begins contacting family members.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's wrong.
I reached out to my sister. I asked her, did she speak with her? She said no, she had missed calls from her, but she was sleeping at that time. I contacted my mother, explained to her what's going on.
Ronisha was saying that she can't get through to Tierra. That bothered me that day. We started calling, and we couldn't get no answers.
And that evening, the family decides it's time to take action.
She's not calling back. She's not on Facebook. That's when we knew something wasn't right.
The family assumed Tierra was calling from her boyfriend's place.
Thought maybe they got into it. You know, maybe her phone broke.
She had her own apartment, but for the last few months, she'd been staying over there a lot.
But her family doesn't know much about him.
I saw pictures of him and stuff like that, but I never got a chance to meet Andre.
We've never been around him. He don't be out anywhere we be out.
Which means they don't know where he lives.
We knew the street, we just didn't know the physical address.
But the family doesn't let that stop them.
We went over there searching up and down the street, trying to figure out which house it was.
The street is a really long street. It's like 4 blocks all the way down. This was a process.
We were knocking on doors, but nobody wasn't trying to give us no information.
Then they finally make contact with Tierra's friend who'd introduced the couple, who also happens to be related to Andre.
She knew what house it was.
She was pretty close with Andre, and if something was wrong, she wanted to help.
Moments after getting the information from her, Tierra's sisters are at Andre's front door.
We went banging on the door. There wasn't no answer. The door is locked.
Immediately, Ronisha calls Tierra's friend back, asking if she can help get them inside.
Yeah, can you get me into Andre's house?
She said, well, y'all, if y'all just come pick me up, then I can try to get y'all in the house.
Okay, we're coming to get you.
But when they return with Tierra's friend, they immediately notice something is off.
We get out the car. I said, hold on. They had a motion light. The motion light was working when we first got there. When we came back, the motion light was off, completely off. So I'm like, hold on, that's strange. Now the door is left open. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. That don't seem right.
Tierra! Andre! Tierra! Tierra!
Tierra's sisters quickly proceed in the house.
Everybody turning flashlights on their phones so we can see what's going on. We're screaming his name and my sister's name.
Tierra?
Andre!
Not only is no one inside, but they also find the house in disarray.
Everything is just scattered like somebody left out of there in a rush. I see the belongings that Tiara said she had packed up and ready to go in the middle of the kitchen floor. Now I'm panicking. Where is my sister?
But before Tiara's sisters have a chance to react, they're interrupted.
What are y'all doing here? We're looking for our sister Tiara.
She trying to play like she lives here. This is her house. She's been living here for this amount of time.
Get out! Where's Tiara?
She said she never seen Tiara here ever in her life.
But if this woman is a roommate of Andre's, Ronisha is sure she is lying.
Not only are Tiara's things in that house, but Ronisha knew her sister had been spending the night at her boyfriend's house a lot.
So she contacts their mother.
My mom said to just grab Tiara's stuff and leave.
Within hours, the family decides it's time to get the police involved.
We went to the police, and that's the day that they sent the police officer over there to meet us.
They did a little welfare check, but, of course, no sign of her.
So tell us what exactly happened.
They say when they spoke with her via FaceTime, they did notice bruises on her face.
We showed them the text. God forbid if anything happened to her, that she loved us. That's basically what alerted us.
And you haven't heard anything since?
No, we couldn't get through.
We knew that she was in harm because she don't do that. She answer her phone. She don't go off of Facebook. She stay in social media.
But now she's nowhere to be found.
They said that the house is disarray and like somebody left in a hurry.
And she was staying here with her boyfriend. Can you tell us about him?
I mean, not much.
The family states they don't know Andre that well.
When she was with him, he'd be in the background. And I was like, when I'm gonna meet him? Or I tell her to put him on the phone and she'd just giggle, that silly laugh. Tiara kept him at bay.
For now, the police don't seem too concerned.
When you're a Black 22-year-old woman, they figure you're grown or what have you. So Tiara wasn't a priority from law enforcement.
But she is a priority to her family.
We know her. You can't tell us about our child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell us anything.
Okay, well, let us know when you get more information.
So they take matters into their own hands.
Tiara's mom, Pat Davis, was a mother like no other at that moment. She was going to do whatever she could to find her daughter.
The family of 22-year-old Tiara Lott has contacted the Buffalo police after receiving an ominous text message from the missing woman.
They explained that Tiara was in a vulnerable situation.
On FaceTime, she had a couple of bruises and marks.
Tiara told her sister that she was going to leave the house, but then Tiara sent a message saying, if anything happens to me, I love y'all. Tell everyone else. And after that, no one could reach her.
But the family doesn't get the response they'd expected.
The police acted as if she was an adult. She might have left on her own for a couple of days.
Tiara's family can't help but feel the response might have been different if she were white.
Tiara being a Black woman, those cases often slip through the cracks. They don't get the same attention from the media, from the police, as white counterparts do.
There is disparities, the white women syndrome, where they make national headlines overnight.
We're gonna find them.
Desperate to find Tiara, her family begins an investigation of their own.
We just took matters in our own hands and did what we had to do.
It was us doing the footwork, us putting the flyers and everything.
We just got our friends together, people that knew Tiara, family help. We was on the phone a lot, trying to get into her emails. Definitely wasn't eating, sleeping.
We was outside searching through all these abandoned houses, train tracks, just everywhere.
Looking and looking, it was really hard.
The family has little luck. But when they ask the local church across the street from the house where Tierra went missing, they get their first break in the case.
The church had several cameras affixed to its building.
The church was helpful with giving us the video.
As they scroll through the footage, the sisters see themselves arriving to check on Tierra.
They can't get in, the doors are locked, so they leave to go get Andre's family member to help them get inside the house. As they go to leave, an SUV also pulls away.
While the sisters are gone, that same SUV returns and backs into the driveway. It stays for a while and then it leaves again.
That's when we come back and all the doors are open.
More concerning, though, is what they don't see.
Tierra FaceTimed her sister from inside that house. She's never actually seen leaving, but when the family finally got inside, Tierra was gone. So now they fear Andre took Tierra away in the SUV.
We should have never even left because that's what they was waiting for us to leave.
Despite what they've seen, the family tries to remain hopeful.
We still just think, okay, maybe he just jumped on her and he trying to just keep her hostage till the bruises and the swelling go down.
And they think the key to finding her could be inside the house from which she disappeared.
We got to get back into the house to see if it's anything that would help us.
When they return to the scene of the suspected crime, nobody is home, and it's surprisingly easy to get inside.
We got back into the house because the doors was unlocked.
But what they discover inside makes them far less optimistic.
Her coat was on the floor.
That's when I started to really like, oh no, he did something. Because it's wintertime. She not outside wandering around with no coat, no winter jacket on.
With new evidence in hand, the family meets with police again.
After what felt like forever for the family, police finally bring in missing person detectives.
Based on the information that her mother gave to us, we determined something possibly happened.
The detective reassures Tierra's family that their case is important to the department.
I'll make this one of my top priorities.
We were investigating. This was our top priority.
Even so, Tierra's family remains frustrated.
I don't feel like they were looking as hard as we were.
While police focus on tracking down Andre, the family continues their own search for Tierra, partnering with a local nonprofit called Bury the Violence.
And exploited individuals, working with the intersex of domestic violence and homicide.
Well, thank you for your help.
Karima is impressed by Tierra's family's efforts.
The family did exactly what I would expect them to do. When you're looking for someone, it is very important to be persistent because we know that in our community, we have to advocate for ourselves.
Bury the Violence uses their expertise to help make Tierra's case more visible.
We become our own media. Everybody has to utilize TikTok, make this go viral. But we also have to remember that the picture in the heavy traffic areas, passing it out, posting it up is also another option.
Thank God for them because it put the pressure on, like this is happening.
Before long, Tierra's story is all over the local news.
When you saw this mother go on TV saying, Tierra, if you're out there, mommy is here, we're gonna find you, that just hit the heart of so many people.
And the community comes out in droves.
The community was wonderful. People I didn't even know came out, searched with us for 2 days in the cold, 6-degree weather. People stepped up. It really helped. Really kept me grounded.
That's the city of good neighbors. They came together.
Behind the scenes, the police investigation is also picking up steam.
A family member of Andre's comes forward saying he wants to talk to police.
So, you have something you need to tell me?
He definitely felt guilty.
He couldn't take that pressure of holding back.
When I get over there, she's just laying there in a pool of blood.
After the disappearance of Tierra Lott, the only person of interest, her boyfriend, 𝐅𝐔𝐋𝐋, is still at large.
They still wanted him for questioning.
But Buffalo police are about to get a big break in the case.
A member of Andre's family comes forward. Apparently, Andre had called him the night that Tierra went missing.
So, you have something you need to tell me?
Andre called me over.
Andre said something happened and he needed him to come to his house.
He was unsure what Andre wanted, but he showed up to help.
But when Andre led him to an upstairs bedroom, he wasn't prepared for what he saw.
Hey, man. There was Tierra, dead.
He knew her. She was best friends to his sister, so he watched these girls grow up together.
Apparently, this had all started with an argument that got out of control.
I have to get out of here. I have to get out of here now.
During the argument, Andre got physical with Tierra. They parted to cool down, and when he was asleep, she packed her things. But before she could get out, he must have caught her and lost it.
And now Andre wanted him to help dispose of the body.
Dang, man. We gotta get some stuff. Come on.
He admits he went along with Andre's request.
Consider his state of mind or his perspective. My family member just committed this terrible crime, and now he's asking me to do something to help him. What happens to me if I say no? I thought that I knew who this person was, and now I don't. There's kind of like a survival response. I got to get out of here alive.
As he and Andre drove, there was little conversation.
First, they stopped and got some alcohol, and then they stopped and got trash bags and duct tape for the cleanup.
But when the men pulled back up to the house, it was clear they had a problem.
Tierra's sisters were there, so they sped off in the car, hoping the woman hadn't seen them.
And when they returned, the sisters were gone.
With the coast clear, they backed the SUV into the driveway and went inside.
But as Andre broke out the trash bags and duct tape, he felt a wave of panic wash over him.
Well, don't just stand there, man. Help me. I just can't, man.
He couldn't go through with it. He told Andre he'd have to clean it up on his own.
He doesn't know how much time passed before he saw Andre emerge at the top of the stairs.
Andre had Tierra's body slung over his shoulder, inside bags closed with duct tape.
He confesses that he didn't refuse to help Andre load the body into the vehicle.
It sounds like he tried to help as minimally as possible.
He was very forthcoming with us. He gave us a lot of information regarding that night and what transpired.
His story corroborates much of what police had already assumed.
By now, investigators had fully screened the surveillance video that the family had found at the church across from Andre's house.
What he told them seemed to match what they saw on the footage.
So, do you think you can give me the location and address of where the body is located?
Yeah.
But what the detective really wants to know is where Tierra's body is now.
After a while, he did come up with a location.
Officers drive out to the area.
But when they look around, they find no sign of Tierra's body.
So the detective decides to get tougher.
So clearly, you know you gave me some false information. So you have two options. One, keep lying, and I pin all this on you, and you go to jail for the rest of your life. Or two, you can start telling the truth about everything. So start talking.
Okay, I'll show you where she's at.
He finally gives them a location near some railroad tracks not far from Andre's house.
As they approach the tracks, police have good reason to believe Tierra is near.
He did become uneasy, shaken, and everything.
He started to kind of get this visceral, this physical reaction. As long as she was hidden, he was able to hide in that denial. But as people start to get closer, He now has to realize that I'm associated with something heinous. How did I do it?
When a family member of Andre Wiggum leads Buffalo police to where he claims Tierra Lott's body was dumped, it doesn't take long to find her.
She was found dead near train tracks.
But if it wasn't for him, police may have never found her body.
That particular neighborhood, there is a lot of dumping that has taken place in that area. Trash, tires, so perfect dumping ground, I guess, some would say.
Although Tierra's body has been out in the elements for 2 weeks, she is still identifiable.
It was February, and the city of Buffalo is very cold. So her body was very well preserved.
Now police face the difficult task of notifying her family.
In the case of Tiara, me and another detective did go over to the mother's house.
They basically said body was found on the train tracks. And I just fell into my kitchen cabinet. And I'm like, wow, not my daughter, not my child, not Tierra. Not Tierra.
I just heard my mom just bust out in tears, and I just held her. I just held my mom.
It was really hard. It was really hard, unbelievable.
After hearing what Andre's family member told police, Tierra's loved ones don't doubt his story.
He grew up around Tierra like a sister.
He definitely felt guilty. Probably was his sister getting in his ear, saying like, you need to come forward. Far as his role, I don't think he had nothing to do with what happened all until her last breath. And Andre made him help move my sister's body.
They're also grateful that he was brave enough to tell the truth.
At the end of the day, that's his family. He had to make a choice, and I appreciate the choice that he did make for us to find her.
And because of that choice, no charges are filed against him.
The location he had my daughter at, I wouldn't have never found her. I lived in Buffalo all my life. I never even knew that location existed.
While it's not the ending the family hoped for, they are relieved to have Tierra back.
Now we can lay her to rest peacefully.
Tierra, slow down. What's going on?
But making any sense of Andre's crime feels impossible.
What's going on?
This attack, I don't know where it came from.
I'll kill you.
She never came to us and said anything about him putting his hands on her or anything.
But in retrospect, there was a sign that something wasn't right between the couple.
We never got a chance to meet him.
I was concerned for that. Why we can't meet him? Why you don't let him come by and see the family? She just said, he always busy, he doing this, he doing that. It was always something, an excuse.
Building that wall of resistance and not being available to share with your family is sometimes the red flag.
There's a tendency to hide, protect the abuser. And somebody who's abusive, they would not want to be around family or friends of the abused because they know that the person support network will sniff it out.
Her family suspects that embarrassment may have prevented Tierra from letting her family in.
She didn't want her mother to feel like she was being mistreated. She wanted her mom to always feel like she's still shooting for the sky and nothing is bringing her down.
There can be a lot of guilt and a lot of shame surrounding the abuse, which often causes people to keep it in.
Who you on the phone with?
And while no one knows what really happened behind closed doors, it's easy to imagine that abuse was happening all along.
It can start as something small, raising your voice, but that can escalate to physical violence.
And Tierra, like so many victims of abuse, stayed.
Victims kind of fall into this cycle with their abusers where they tell you that they're going to change. This won't continue to happen. Unfortunately, the abuser can be very manipulative, and it can be really hard for the victim to know what's real and what's not.
The fact that Tierra was trying to leave the day she was killed may have also contributed to the violence.
The most dangerous time for victims is when they try and leave an abusive relationship.
I have to get out of here.
Leaving someone who's controlling elicits kind of a panic response in the abuser. The abuser feels threatened. To him, strength is control. And if I don't have control, then maybe everybody will see how weak I am. So I need to shut you up, extinguish you.
When the autopsy results return, it's clear Tierra died a horrible death.
I read the autopsy, and he's the devil. Pure evil. Pure evil.
It was determined that Andre did strangle Tierra.
It takes multiple minutes to strangle someone. And during that entire time, you're looking at them in the face. You're watching the life leave their body. It's a very personal thing. He was definitely in a rage.
For Buffalo police, it's urgent to find this very dangerous man.
But police are still struggling to pin him down.
We had information that Andre may have left the state.
Desperate to find Andre, Buffalo investigators request outside help.
Buffalo police have no jurisdiction outside of New York State. So we enlist the help of marshals who have jurisdiction all over U.S. So we brought them in, let them know what we have, gave them Andre's information, and from there they were able to help us search for him.
The family is grateful to see police finally making a more focused effort in Tierra's case.
Once they found her body, I do kind of feel like they were taking us more serious.
Nonetheless, Tierra's family remains deeply involved in the hunt to find him.
They wanted answers and started asking questions, and they were hearing that he's in the neighborhood, that he's driving around.
We found out that he was coming back and forth in Buffalo.
I was on the phone with the detectives and the marshals every day, giving them information.
But even with these new leads, authorities face serious hurdles in locating the suspect.
They believed the family of Andre Wiggum knew his whereabouts, and they were protecting him.
It was frustrating because Tierra's family felt like everyone was protecting this guy. Even that woman that supposedly lived in his house that kicked them out.
They also haven't been able to track him using cell phone data.
It seems Andre was changing out burner phones every so often, making it very difficult to find him.
In the meantime, with Andre still missing, the community remains on edge.
People are on alert, there's prayer, there's looking out for each other because we got to make sure we're all safe.
When someone is on the run and they've committed murder, they don't really have much else to lose. So if you do cross the wrong paths with them, I think it's valid to have some fear of what might happen.
More than a year goes by, and it seems Andre may never be found. But finally, he slips up.
Although he was smart about switching phones, there was an app he consistently used that the U.S. Marshals were able to trace.
After homing in on a Buffalo address, investigators stage a raid.
But when police enter the home, he's nowhere to be found. Andre escapes once again.
If you're innately debating why you're with the person, I really would pray that you would say, why am I debating this? Honor your feelings. Find a trusted loved one. Advocate if you don't have anyone. If you're experiencing something, go to the hospital to seek help. Because again, it is an illness that you're experiencing. Go to the emergency room, talk to somebody, and find a way out.
Roughly a year after Tierra Lott's murder, U.S. Marshals and Buffalo police believe they finally located their suspect, Andre Wiggum.
They had a house where he was hiding at.
But inside, there's no sign of him.
Police believe that he got wind that they were coming.
The near miss is a blow to the investigation and to the family.
Every day that you was out there getting away with something, you think you got one up and whatnot. It's like, that's not fair.
I did wish that on him. I felt as if I didn't want him to be found alive. You don't supposed to wish death on anybody, but this one time, this one time, because he took somebody so special from us.
But then, in May of 2022, Andre shocks everyone by turning himself in.
I think they had nowhere else to hide.
At this point, everyone knew he was wanted, and no one was willing to hide him anymore.
Knowing Andre is finally behind bars is a relief for Tiara's family.
I'm very, very happy that they did catch him.
I just wanted him to not be out here no more.
His arrest is also a hard-won victory for her loved ones who never gave up.
There is a sense of relief, a sense of accomplishments that we did it. Our efforts weren't in vain.
You have to advocate for yourself.
Fight for your child, never give up. People turn their backs, close doors, keep banging, keep your foot on the ground, and keep going. But if I just would have laid there, wait for phone calls, this would have never got solved.
As the case moves to trial, Andre's lawyer contacts the DA's office about a possible plea.
Prosecutors were open to reducing the charges from second-degree murder to first-degree manslaughter.
Trials like this, lawyers can be brutal in defending their client. Things that they can say in a courtroom to kind of throw doubt.
Although Tiara's family isn't sure the plea deal is the best option, it would have one advantage.
Maybe it was better if I wouldn't have to hear every single detail.
Sometimes it makes more sense emotionally to accept the plea.
With a deal in place, Andre faces sentencing in June of 2023.
Me and my family, Tiara's family on her dad's side, was there in court.
When given the chance to address the court, Tiara's mother fearlessly faces Andre.
Her words were, "Never in a million years would I think he would be the one to take her life. She really did care about this man. Why did you do this? Why did you have to kill her?"
But Andre chooses to remain silent.
The judge asked him, did he want to speak? He said no.
He showed no remorse. It was no apology. It wasn't nothing.
And when the judge hands down a sentence of 25 years, the family feels like it's a slap in the face.
He shouldn't have got that.
25 is not enough time for what he did to my daughter.
I don't consider it as justice.
Because for those who love Tiara, there will always be a void.
He took away a daughter, a cousin, an aunt, a friend.
One of the kindest people like we have around. Just an amazing person to have in your corner.
Birthdays, holidays, even just meeting up at my mom's house, having family time. It's always gonna be that missing piece that we can never feel, ever. He just snatched that away from us. Makes me angry, because she's supposed to be here.
She definitely deserved to be here.
We always gonna keep her name alive. We gonna be her voice for her.
And her family has hope that Tiara's story will help other women who may be in a similar situation.
Pay attention to the red flags. If a guy is trying to control you, pull you away from your family, that is some type of abuse. And it's just the beginning. Let your family know what you're going through. Don't hide it.
Be more open, letting your loved one know exactly what's going on, keeping them in the loop.
It's harder to share with somebody that you know. There are a lot of different resources that can meet you where you're at. Speaking with a therapist, there are lots of different support groups for women in toxic relationships.
You can call 211. It'll connect you to the local resources.
But, it's not worth your life.
A mysterious suitcase leads to a gruesome discovery.
She unzipped the suitcase, and the first thing that was seen was a human foot.
She just immediately panics.
The smell had to be horrific.
Yes, I need the police.
Police in 2 states work to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
We knew that we were missing parts of our victim. Why did you only take that part of her body down there?
I was like, well, I hope they find the rest of her.
It took a couple days to complete the job.
But will they ever understand the motive behind it?
He was laying in the bed with her lifeless body in the room.
It's a case that stuns even the most seasoned detectives.
Oh, wow. We've seen a lot of death, but some things you just see for the first time.
At what point did you decide that you needed to cut her up?
The efforts he took were horrifying to learn about.
I just put it in my mind to be like, well, you gotta go with me somehow. I just can't believe there's people like this walking around.
It was just pure evil is what it was.
It's July 2020 in Louisville, Kentucky, the Bluegrass State's biggest city on the banks of the Ohio River.
Louisville is the home of Muhammad Ali, where the Louisville Slugger was born, for the baseball fans.
We're considered a metropolitan area. I mean, it's certainly growing, but I think we still have a small town feel.
But this summer has been a trying time for the city's residents.
The summer of 2020, around the COVID epidemic, it was a lot of chaos, a lot of community disruptions.
It's also the summer of the George Floyd protests, and in Louisville, the murder of Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor was an unarmed woman mistakenly shot and killed in March by Louisville police serving a no-knock search warrant in the middle of the night.
Louisville, Kentucky has really deep-rooted racism. It's been like that for the past century. And with the shooting Breonna Taylor, there's a lot of tension in the town.
The shooting triggered a wave of protests.
I remember the protest. We were down there for Breonna Taylor, and it was rough. It was really rough.
But now in late August, Shanta Alvis has begun to fear that another local Black woman could be in danger. Her cousin, 31-year-old LaDondra Ellington.
Nobody had heard from LaDondra in over a month.
I think the last time they saw her was near the end of July.
I was inboxing her and calling her.
And after LaDondra's birthday came and went, the family feels they have even more reason to be concerned.
LaDondra had a birthday on August the 4th.
We never missed each other's birthdays, ever. But we didn't hear from her.
I kind of got worried with them because it was kind of unusual for her to go more than a few days without calling.
When more days pass without any contact, LaDondra's cousins take action.
She had friends as well who didn't hear from her, and they reached out to us. That's when we knew something was wrong.
They headed over to the apartment. They knocked on the door, but there was no answer. And so that, again, raises more concern.
You can only think the worst.
Louisville native LaDondra Ellington had made a promising start in life.
We pretty much grew up in my grandmother's house together. She was the life of the party, always dancing around the house and just full of energy.
She was so genuine, so bright, so happy. It was literally like the best part of growing up was my cousin.
Everywhere she went, people were struck by her joyful spirit.
She was bubbly. She always smiling. She was very, very, very friendly. She was the light
When she walk in the room, then like when you go to family events, it's not right until she walks in the room. Long as we were together, then we knew we was gonna have a good time.
But after college, LaDondra's path took a turn that no one expected.
There was situations with her housing that got confused.
She ended up homeless and kind of fell into this hard place.
But that didn't stop LaDondra from fighting to change her situation.
One thing about it, she might have been knocked down, but she didn't stay down for long. So she was a fighter.
Soon, LaDondra was able to get off the streets and into a homeless shelter.
Hey girl, what you doing? Hey.
Being in that homeless shelter, she found a church home and she started to go to church.
I actually was about to head to Bible study. Do you want to go?
People who are down and out definitely have to have something to believe in. And with LaDondra, she was very involved in her church.
She never let those hard times crush her soul or spirit.
But her renewed relationship with God wasn't the only thing lifting LaDondra's spirits.
Hey. She met a guy named Melvin, who was also in a shelter. Melvin was from outside of the Chicago, in a suburb area.
But like LaDondra, he had fallen on hard times and found himself living in the shelter in Louisville.
I'm Melvin.
As they got to know each other, they became more than just friends.
She told me she had met her guy. They had been talking for a little while, and she wanted to get to know him.
They made this love connection while both struggling in hard times.
Neither LaDondra nor Melvin let living in the shelter keep them down.
Even during this time, while both LaDondra and Melvin were in the homeless shelter, they still found ways to stay afloat, have some sort of employment.
Melvin had a series of different jobs, from working security to driving a truck that went around picking up donations for the shelter. Then, in the spring of 2020, LaDondra received a Section 8 housing voucher for an apartment of her own.
She called me screaming, "Guess what? Guess what? I got my apartment." She was so happy.
To see her at her lowest, it was probably one of the worst pains you could ever feel that wasn't physical. And then to see her climb out from that and then actually get on her feet, it was a breath of fresh air. She worked so hard to get into a stable place, and when she did, I was like, this is what we've been waiting on.
And LaDondra wouldn't be living there alone.
This was an opportunity maybe for Melvin to also find his path.
Are you sure it's cool, like me staying here?
I mean, I want you to.
But now, it's been over a month since anyone has seen or heard from LaDondra.
The family's concern just kept growing. Like, we know our cousin, that's not like her. So they just go and do a wellness check on her.
Hey!
Nobody answered the door. Me and my brother left. And then we drove around looking for her at this point.
Instead of LaDondra, they spot Melvin on the sidewalk.
I think that's her dude right there on the scooter. We saw him on the scooter. So I jumped out. Hey man, let me holler at you for a minute.
But Melvin's response isn't what they expected.
His behavior was just really weird.
He just took off running.
"31-year-old LaDondra Ellington has successfully moved from a Louisville, Kentucky homeless shelter into her own apartment.
LaDondra fortunately ended up getting a Section 8 voucher, and she was so excited. She was ready to start her new life.
It was a joy getting a phone call saying, I got a new place, I'm ready, come over, we're gonna barbecue, we're gonna have a good time. She was just overwhelmed. And it was a joy.
And living there with her is her boyfriend, 30-year-old Melvin Martin Jr.
It felt like it was a good connection for her. Finally, she was able to find some true love.
But now, in September, after over a month without hearing from her, LaDondra's cousins have gone to her apartment hoping to find her.
We just wanted some answers.
There wasn't anybody at her apartment, but after her cousins left and were driving around, they spotted Melvin on the street.
Hey man, let me holler at you for a minute.
But Melvin doesn't stick around to talk.
He just took off running. I probably chased him for a mile, but that was as close as I got to him.
So on September 10th, LaDondra's family files a report with Louisville police.
Sir? This was during a time of an uproar because of all of the protests against police violence and police brutality.
A lot of times, situations like this tend to get swept under the rug.
Especially in cases like LaDondra's.
This sounds like something that could be typical of a person with LaDondra's past.
With LaDondra already having a history of some homelessness, police may assume that maybe this is not a missing case, but maybe she's just dropped off the radar.
LaDondra's family is adamant that isn't the case.
She hasn't called, she hasn't sent a message.
It's hard for people coming from the outside looking in for them to realize that people are concerned about her because this is not what they're used to.
But it isn't just LaDondra's behavior that has her family concerned.
They also knew a bit of history between LaDondra and Melvin, and that there had been some disputes in the past.
They had issues just like everyone else. She would get away from him, he would try to come back.
I was aware of disagreements and things they had, but I didn't know to what degree it really was.
The family does know that LaDondra was tired of arguing with Melvin.
They had fights, yelling. Him mostly, her wanting him to leave, him not accepting the fact of she wants him to leave. She was just tired of the foolishness, and she was just over it. You only can take so much, and she wanted peace. That's all she wanted.
But Melvin and LaDondra had always made up and stayed together.
To the family, it seems possible that Melvin may have had something to do with LaDondra's disappearance.
Melvin's looking super suspicious.
And his behavior continues to raise red flags.
The day after LaDondra's missing case report was filed, Melvin goes to Illinois.
He hitches a ride to Chicago to visit his mother in the nearby suburb of Markham.
When he gets to Chicago, he calls his mom to pick him up.
When she arrives, it looks like Melvin is packed for a long stay.
He arrived with some really large suitcases.
What in the world, all this stuff? Here, let me help you.
Whenever they were loading the suitcases in the vehicle,
I can't barely even lift them.
it was remarked how heavy the suitcase and the totes seemed to be.
He told his mom that they were filled with dirty clothes.
At his mother's house, he doesn't unpack his suitcases.
When they get back to the house, he took his bags into the garage.
What in the world you put in your suitcases in the garage?
I got some smelly clothes in here.
She's like, that just don't sound right. But she took it for what it's worth.
Over the next few days, though, Melvin doesn't do any laundry.
Despite having these two large suitcases with him, he kept asking to borrow clothes and even was asking his mom to buy him some clothes.
Now, she was wondering what was in there. If you were taking a trip, wouldn't you have clothes to wear? What's in those suitcases?
One afternoon, she finally has a chance to satisfy her curiosity.
Melvin asked his mom to give him a ride to the library. He said he had to do some work on the computer.
Mom is thinking, the first thing I want to do is get in that bag because he's just too protective over his luggage.
So after dropping off Melvin, she hurries home.
The bag is on top of a refrigerator in the garage, and she's first trying to pull it down. She said it felt like a sack of bricks.
Those bags were not filled with dirty clothes.
She saw a human foot.
In Louisville, Kentucky, LaDondra Ellington has disappeared, and her family has officially filed a missing persons report.
They hadn't seen LaDondra in over a month, and they weren't able to get in touch with her or her live-in boyfriend, Melvin Martin.
Melvin is in the Chicago suburb of Markham, Illinois, visiting his mother.
Melvin had brought with him 2 heavy suitcases that he said contained dirty laundry. But when he didn't unpack them, his mother suspected he was hiding something.
It has to be drugs, because what else could it be?
Melvin's mom decided to check the suitcases out while he was out at the library.
When she does, she makes a shocking discovery.
They were actually filled with what appeared to be body parts.
She just immediately panics. She's like, you know what, that's my son, but I just have to get the police involved.
Melvin's mother calls 911 and tries to explain what she found.
He was coming home, but he was having some problems, and I know that he was having some problems, but he put that suitcase in my garage.
A detective is notified immediately.
I received a phone call from my supervisor, and he's telling me, hey, you need to go over to Markham. He's like, you won't believe what you're gonna see, but I need you to hurry.
The detective can tell what's waiting for him even before he enters the garage.
I first noticed the smell, and I'm like, yeah, this can't be good.
It's a smell you never forget.
And when the detective opens the bags, he confirms what Melvin's mother told dispatch.
This was indeed what appeared to be a human body.
Or at least parts of one.
There's the head.
Inside the luggage bag was the human remains of a female woman. They were wrapped up in a whole bunch of bleach wipes. There were some plastic bags.
There were multiple knives that were located inside the suitcase as well.
The scene is like something out of a nightmare.
Some of the body parts, you didn't really know what you were looking at because it was just a ball of flesh.
I'm like, whoa, okay, this is gonna get deep.
For the detective, the next move is to take Melvin Martin Jr. into custody.
At that moment, Melvin was not at the house.
He wanted to know, where is Melvin right now? His mom indicated that she had dropped him off at the library.
That's where the detective finds him.
He was immediately placed under arrest without incident.
Melvin is then taken to the Markham police station.
Authorities alerted the Louisville police force that they had Melvin in their custody.
I said, hey, look, I got this guy. He just came from Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, well, what's the deal? Well, he has human remains in the suitcase. And they couldn't believe it. They're like, are you serious?
Me and another detective, at that point, we got our bags together and we drove from Louisville to Chicago throughout the night.
The next day, Louisville detectives interview Melvin Martin Jr.
I asked him specifically about what happened to LaDondra. Why are we here today? Like, were things kind of just getting bad between you two?
It's a long story. It's a long story.
He starts by explaining how he had been living on the streets before moving into the homeless shelter.
He said he was noticing people following him.
I can't go nowhere without a whole bunch of people following me, looking at me, in groups of cars. People, I'm walking down this street, somebody coming down that way, they hurry up and run.
But anytime he would tell anybody, they were acting like he was tripping.
People aren't believing him.
But that changed when he met LaDondra.
Hey.
Melvin tells LaDondra that people are following him, and she actually agrees and believes that people are actually following him and trying to kill him.
So when LaDondra got her apartment, Melvin moved in with her.
But come to find out, they had an off and on, really rocky relationship.
He claimed LaDondra was a troublemaker and painted her out as a drug addict, a thief, and all different types of things.
Melvin says that LaDondra instigated all their arguments.
And did nothing help make me blow a gasket.
But he claims he put up with it.
Melvin says to them, he never hurt her. He never laid a hand on her.
So detectives decide to be even more direct.
They just simply asked him, hey, what happened?
You and I both know that she did not deserve what happened to her.
I know that. I know that. It's a cold-heartedly.
Why did you do what you did to her?
Melvin couldn't share anything but the truth at that time.
I lost control.
And what the hell are you gonna do with that?
By detectives, Melvin Martin Jr. has admitted that he killed his girlfriend, LaDondra Ellington, when things got out of hand during an argument.
During the argument, she wanted him to leave, and he says that she just kept going on and on about it.
I lost control.
He said that he snapped. What happened? I mean, physically, what did you do?
He said that one thing led to another, and he ended up hitting her in the head with a coffee pot.
It was a stainless steel coffee pot, and he swung that coffee pot and struck her in the temple area. Did she get knocked out, or was she still talking to you?
Knocked out.
He says that he hit her over the head and she went unconscious. We didn't believe that was true, but we just let him continue.
Did you hit her more than once?
Yes.
He said that there was a lot of blood. Where was she bleeding from?
My head.
What did you do next then?
I tried the CPR.
Unfortunately, it was too late. She was dead.
How long did she lay there?
I can't even tell you. I don't even know. I didn't count the days, so.
He's like, man, she wouldn't get up. I left, I came back, and she was still laying there. This was for a couple of weeks, almost a month time.
LaDondra was still laying there in the bedroom the entire time.
Eventually, he made a pile on the floor, and LaDondra's lifeless body remained there while he slept in the bed.
Every night you slept in that room with her?
After weeks in the apartment, he decided to go to Illinois.
The only thing I can think about was if I would see my family one last time.
But he didn't go alone.
When he decided to go home and see his family, he started feeling like he could not leave her there.
So you gonna come with me?
He asked LaDondra's body, talking to her, did she want to come with him?
I just put it in my mind to be like, well, you gotta come with me somehow. You gotta come with me.
How was the problem?
Melvin decided he was going to put her body into a suitcase.
He decides to take her into the bathroom and use kitchen knives to dismember her body.
He found 4 knives in that suitcase. Did you use all 4 of those?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to do all that?
I didn't count, but I don't know.
I mean, really, a kitchen knife is not gonna do it, but he had no other tools.
Melvin told police that it took several days to dismember her body, and he was so disgusted with himself that throughout the process, he was throwing up.
It was really terrible, really.
But he didn't take all of LaDondra with him to his mother's. even dismembered.
We asked him, where's the rest of her? And his response is, well, I threw her away in the park. And we're like, what park?
Melvin told detectives he had dumped LaDondra's torso in Bingham Park in Louisville.
Why did you only take that part of her body down there?
I don't know. I don't know why I took that part.
With a full confession, the detectives ask for his opinion.
What do you think ought to happen to the person that cut her up and killed her the way she was killed? What do you think justice looks like for that person? I asked him specifically, what does justice look like to LaDondra?
His answer is surprising.
He actually responded something that I didn't expect him to say.
I want her dead, man. I really do.
Jr. has just confessed to killing LaDondra Ellington, dismembering her body, and bringing parts of her remains 300 miles north to his mother's home in Markham, Illinois, just outside Chicago.
He acknowledged that he had killed her, that he had taken some of her body with him, and he had hidden some of her body in Louisville, Kentucky.
Melvin shows detectives on the map where he actually dumped LaDondra's torso.
While Melvin awaits extradition back to Kentucky, officers head straight to Louisville's Bingham Park.
Because everything was so overgrown in that particular area, locating the body was going to be difficult.
But law enforcement comes prepared.
I'm on the phone with the detectives who are out there in the park looking with dogs. I mean, they're looking, they're like, we don't see anything.
Fortunately, it doesn't take long for them to spot something.
Luckily, they're like, you know what? I think we got something here. I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, we got something.
They were able to locate the rest of LaDondra's remains.
It's a hit. Forensics, call forensics.
Detectives now face the grim task of informing LaDondra's family that her remains have been recovered.
To get that message saying that she had died in that manner, nobody deserved that.
My granny's house was a gathering place for families. She was our rock. And when something major happens, we all congregate to my granny's house. And we were all over there. And that's when I found out.
My grandmother was heartbroken. It was rough.
I was broken, lost. I still can't get past it. It's surreal to me still. I'm in disbelief.
To find out more about their victim, detectives head to LaDondra's apartment where they speak with the manager.
He told them that she'd been a tenant for about 6 months at the apartment.
She came in as a Section 8 tenant.
Yeah.
So she's eligible to have just herself in the apartment.
Okay.
So then I noticed that she had Piggy on her boyfriend.
She had invited Melvin to come in to stay.
While this does go against Section 8 rules, the landlord said he doesn't really police that type of things, as long as they aren't disturbing anybody.
Melvin wasn't a problem. The neighbors weren't complaining. LaDondra seemed to be happy.
But recently, he had heard something concerning. The lad with Melvin.
Get bleach and cleaning materials out, and he was mopping the living room area.
He noticed him mopping the floors with bleach.
After talking to the landlord, police start knocking on the doors of the nearby apartments.
The police decide, let's see if the neighbors have heard anything, just notice anything unusual.
Do you know the residents in number 21?
Number 21?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
They hadn't heard anything or noticed anything unusual. They really didn't know LaDondra or Melvin.
They contacted a couple that lives below the apartment that LaDondra shared with Melvin.
We're just doing some follow-up work on some residents that live upstairs in number 21. He had actually called the police.
He woke up because he heard a lot of commotion, and that disturbed him.
He recognized the voices of LaDondra and Melvin.
He woke up out of his sleep because he heard Melvin beating LaDondra.
He was beating on her?
She actually would get beat by Melvin a lot.
I'm thankful that his mother was conscious enough to know that there's something off here, and she took action, because without her initial phone call, I don't know if we would have ever found LaDondra. Who knows what would have happened if he had more time up in the Chicago area to put parts of her all across that area.
A neighbor in the apartment below LaDondra Ellington has told Louisville detectives investigating her death that he'd overheard an incident of domestic violence between her and her boyfriend, Melvin Martin Jr.
What he thought he heard was LaDondra being assaulted or being beaten up, and he had actually called the police.
Were they responding?
He didn't know if Melvin got arrested or what actually happened.
It scares me to even think of what could possibly be up there, like I live right underneath it.
Investigators are able to verify what LaDondra's neighbors told them.
They run both LaDondra and Melvin's background.
And the neighbor's 911 call isn't Melvin's only run-in with the police.
He had a history of abuse involving other people, some criminal cases, as well as some protective orders, which are civil orders, but still just as significant.
He found the incident that the neighbor reported, but then there was another incident.
There was this one incident where LaDondra went to the domestic violence shelter and actually filed a report.
The report listed the date of the incident as May 23rd.
In the report, LaDondra had stated that around 1 a.m. she had gotten up to use the bathroom. And that when she got back in the bed, both her and Melvin had heard a noise coming from the front of the house.
Melvin went to the front of the apartment and he discovered that the front door was wide open.
Once Melvin closes and locks the door, he comes back into the room and accuses her of having another man.
You had him hiding in the closet, didn't you?
No, I swear.
He felt like she was hiding someone, and that person, once they went to bed, that they had this grand escape from the front door. When LaDondra said that wasn't true, Melvin just slapped her right across the face. And then that's when they got into a struggle.
They end up getting in a full-fledged fight.
It ended up with Melvin choking her until he said, you know what, get up, go sit in the chair. And that's when he just started sharing all of this past history of what he's done to women.
We was putting fear into her. He made it clear that, look, when a woman did me wrong or I did really, really bad things to her and she became ill,
LaDondra all of a sudden starts to have a seizure.
She said she ended up just falling asleep.
The following day, LaDondra knew she needed to get help.
LaDondra told Melvin that she wanted to go and visit her dad, and Melvin allowed her to go. And LaDondra ended up going to a women's shelter.
She goes to the shelter to file the police report.
But that's where the incident ends.
She never followed through, having Melvin detained or incarcerated as a result of that battery.
Many domestic violence disputes don't ever have a follow-up because police have to see if this is something that they need to pursue based off what the victim wants, or is this something that they're just gonna let fly by?
And unfortunately, in this case, it was the latter.
LaDondra found her way back to Melvin.
So, knowing everything about Melvin, the police officers go and get the search warrant to go ahead to search the apartment.
The crime scene unit sprays luminol around the apartment.
When we did that in the bedroom, there were all sorts of areas of concern that lit up blue on the door frame, the door itself, the dresser in the bedroom, the mattress, the floor.
Oh, wow.
Not only were there traces of blood where Melvin tried to clean up, but there were also small traces in the sheets and in the towels.
The police have all the evidence they need to confirm Melvin's confession.
He was indicted on 3 counts. He was indicted on murder. He was indicted on tampering with physical evidence. He was also indicted on abuse of a corpse.
Melvin's attorney attempts to keep his confession from being used in court.
There was a motion that was filed to try to suppress his statement that failed. We succeeded on that motion. So there was a request for an offer, and we consulted with the family members and friends that were present, and we made that offer.
So they talked to us about the deals and the pleas, and honestly, at that point, it was in God's hands. It was no longer up to us.
The plea deal saves LaDondra's family from torment.
I was there when they actually gave him the plea deal. And I saw the position that my sister and her sister was in. There's no way they could have made it through a trial, having to see all the imagery and whatnot. So I understand why they accepted it.
We was able to speak, myself and her little sister. And as we said, it's in God's hands. What happens to him, happens to him.
Seeing my sister, seeing what she had to go through from making the identification and looking at some of those pictures, that's something I didn't want her to have to relive. Going through it once is enough.
But the prosecution has another reason, too.
They don't want to go to court because they don't want him to plead insanity.
He was not mentally ill. He was trying to evade prosecution.
Melvin accepts the offer.
Melvin pleads guilty to murder. He also pleads guilty to tampering with evidence and abuse to a corpse.
He took 25 years on the murder, and then on the tampering and abuse of a corpse, he received 5 years on each of those counts.
Some feel that Melvin Martin Jr. has gotten off easy.
I think it was too light of a sentence. For everything he put into it and the audacity to travel states away, I think, 25 years is just too little of a sentence, a slap on the wrist.
He deserves so much more. He deserved way more.
She definitely did not deserve that at all. No one deserved that. But his punishment would be far greater than we could ever do to him. Because we believe in the Lord.
Still, what Melvin did to LaDondra can never be forgotten.
This is one of those cases that is so heavy. It's just really different. And every little detail that we talk about, let's just bring back the memory, the smell, the every little detail about it.
Here we have a domestic violence case, and unfortunately, it cost a life.
And the life it claimed was precious.
It's important to tell her story because I don't want her to just be a name. No, she was a beautiful person. She wasn't just a person who was murdered. She wasn't just someone who was in a shelter.
Everyone has their own faults. We go through things, but ultimately she was just a beautiful soul. She was just full of life and she loved everyone.
She had a will that you could never stop and still couldn't till the last days of her life. That's what I love to remember her by.